take effect. We'll get to that point. But before that, I mean, on this whole issue with regards to debt restructuring, for financial expert or economist Kwame Minkah, this is what will make Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta go down in history as one of the worst finance ministers Ghana has ever had. What do you make of all this debt restructuring issue and the rippling effects, the implications it is already having, especially on individual bondholders?
Thank you. The debt restructuring program is not conceived and implemented in main and democratic manner. That is the bane of the whole program. Normally, you need to appreciate that anytime you take bond, sign up to committed to pay the principal at maturity and pay periodic coupon to the bondholder. That is what you have signed up to. This is not equity that you look at the performance of the company, you look at the performance of the institution, and while you are making profit, you can say that we have something serious to do. We can't pay dividends. That is not what it is. So at any given time, whether you are in trouble or not, you are bound to make commitment to pay the obligations that you have towards bondholders. That countries will come to this level when they don't manage their economies very well. Mm-hmm. When they are borrowing, they are thinking them that they are borrowing too much. They are not good. It's landed in trouble. They claim that they know what they are doing, and what they are doing has here. That aside, the approach to be adopted is to contact the bondholders, plead with them that I shall pay you, but I can't pay you this time because things are difficult. Will you kindly extend the maturity bond to another 3 years or another 4 years? Will you also forgive part of your interest or all of the interest for us, so that we can restart all over again?
But under the current, hold on, Prof. Under the current circumstances, I mean, these options that you're pointing to, are they realistic under the current circumstances the government finds itself in?
They are very realistic. For example, if you meet bondholders and you tell them that I cannot pay your bonds that are maturing now, we want to pay you at the end of 3 years. You have extended the maturity. The coupon that you have been relying on, is it possible that we can pay just part of the coupon for you in 2023? So these are the discussions that should take. But if one person sit down with his team and wrote a document that says that we are doing debt restructuring, we are giving you deadlines to take or not, and you have banks telling people, as at yesterday, they are calling a lot of people to come and sign. So the whole thing is in a mess. It's as if we are at a war.
Yeah.
So there is a war, and then you are actually targeting bondholders. This is not committed any crime. So that kind of humane attitude is not there. And this is what the bondholders are talking about. I think looking at all the statements of the bondholders, individual bondholders, institutional bondholders, and the rest, they do really understand that they are going to lose something. They are not expecting that they will get zero coupon in 2023. Something has to be discussed about that. Even if it is 2% they are going to get in 2023, perhaps may agree. Okay? If it is 7% they are going to get in 2024, perhaps they may agree. That is the discussion the bondholders are calling for. So if the authorities are not willing to do that, and then there is this blackmail against bondholders that if we don't succeed in debt restructuring, the IMF program will not take place, and that, I mean, it will be die for us. That's the blackmail.
Beyond it being,
there is still opportunity to talk, negotiate, and clinch a deal that would deal with the vulnerability that you put some bondholders into, and then also solving partly the problem of the country. For example, somebody is on retirement and has taken all his retirement benefits and put into a bond. You don't want to listen to him. What do you want him to do? To die in the name of resolving the problem of the country? I think you made mention of a beginning.
Yes.
He made a statement that during the war, after the war, many British people were very happy they were going to contribute to rebuilding the country.
That's right.
And because that was the engagement, and I think he said the final around 1970. So these are the things that we ought to do. But if we're not doing that, and then we are blackmailing the system, there were people talking that if we don't do this, the economy will collapse. People should die.
And that leads me to a doubt that Kwame Minkah seemed to be raising, even with regards to the debt exchange program. Now, he seemed to be questioning if indeed the International Monetary Fund really made it instructive a policy that the Ghanaian government adapt, in as much as we're going to them for this program and of course getting to ensure that we are able to deal with our ballooning debt. I mean, could it be really an instructive policy from the IMF that we have this debt restructuring program? Could Mpianim's doubt be justifiable?
I doubt if it's the IMF. I would not say so. You see, we have gone to IMF and we are discussing the program that we have on hand to be accepted. So if you want to create the impression that IMF has told you to do A, B, C, D, I don't buy that. IMF will not tell you that a pensioner who has put all his money into a bond, go and kill him. IMF will not do that. So we need to, even if the IMF has understood all these things, you need to go back to the IMF and realign your position, because some areas are no-go areas. And as I said, I didn't hear that individual bondholders are saying that they are not willing to lose anything. But all that they are saying is that first respect them, negotiate with them. Perhaps in 2023, you can give them something. You see, what we have done is that we have extended the period to Monday. Then within that period, we are paying that bond, and then we are paying extra coupon. So what are we trying to do? In 2023, we say we are not going to pay anything in 2023. Some of them, their bonds will be maturing in June, July. Some will be maturing in September. So it is just about restructuring. I think that will give some comfort. The individual bondholder, they know they are going to lose something. But at least there should be some cash flow that will be coming into their coffers. That's what they want. And somebody must listen to them.
Yes. And the duration,
somebody must listen to them.
The duration for the cash flow also seems to be one of the issues that they are raising. I mean, for instance, one of them that called into a Joy FM Super Morning Show program whilst, speaking to my colleague Winston Amwa, indicated that, for instance, he's 65 years old, and if he's looking at a certain 15 years maturity, by the time the 15 years is on, it'll be more like 80 years. And in his family, they don't even cross, 70 to even hit 80 years. I would want us to listen to him briefly, and then you can react to exactly what government can do in order to ensure that at least some money flow into their hands. Listen to him.
Committed any crime. Now let me look at it from my personal perspective. I'm 65. Assuming they spread my bonds for 15 years, I'll be 80 years. Very few men in my family cross 80. Am I going to assess my capital in my grave? Those taking these decisions, are they thinking about pensioners, grown people who have to buy drugs? Now they're telling us, take it or leave it. What sort of government would tell its citizens or treat its citizens as trash? That is the way some of us feel. And that is the way a lot of people on these platforms are. I'm on two of these platforms. That is how we feel. We are not being told anything. We are not being told anything. And I'm going to be very specific here. The Minister for Finance companies and commissions on the loans that we are paying now. Why shouldn't he return the commissions to ameliorate the situation for the country? But we, the poorer people, are being asked to give our money at 15, 20 years. What sort of leadership is this? And then you hear things like, we want to build cathedral. We want to do this. If you have money to build cathedral, you have money to do some of these projects, why don't you use it to pay our money? Or why don't you just give us our capital and take the coupon? My brother, I'm going to tell you something. In July, I was approached by one of the finance houses that there was a government bond available. I moved money, quite some money, to purchase it. I've not earned one coupon on it. And now you're telling me I should wait for another 15 years maximum? I've not earned one coupon. No interest on it. And it's like you're stealing my money. You're taking my money, and I'm using stealing advisedly. If you take somebody's property without his consent, you have stolen it. In law, is expropriation. You are expropriating my property by force, by the use of law. It is wrong. It is wrong. They want to send a lot of people to their graves. They just want to send us to our grave. And the body language, the attitude, when you see some of these people who are not, who some years ago were nobody, suddenly you see them come and justify some of these things. I have never worked for government. I have worked hard. Let me call somebody. I've worked like a bull, trying to create a life for myself. Then you're telling me you're taking all the money. And I put everything in, almost everything government bonds. And it's a lot. Maybe.
No. Ebusia for Dwabo Ase Power 97.9. You're the Professor John Gachi and a teaching Prof. So you heard him right there. I mean, he even goes on beyond talking about the fact that he works like a bull and government is supposed to ensure that it does its part. He goes on ahead to talk about the duration of some of this maturity, earnings, and that, look, even crossing the 15 years will be difficult for him because by 15 years he may be 80, and in his family they don't even cross 70 more. How much more 80? So what do you think government should be doing at this moment, really?
See, the whole thing is about negotiation. The whole thing is about negotiation. Government sat somewhere and crafted these documents circulated. But the reality is that we need to negotiate about the maturity. We need to negotiate about the coupon. That has not been done. And I'm not even sure government is opening up to meet with the individual bondholders. And that makes them look as if they are criminals. And that is not the best way things ought to go. So the whole thing is about negotiation, about the maturity, about the coupon, about the arrangement around the bond. That is what government ought to open up to.
Very well. Before I let you go, as we mentioned, I mean, in the Ghanaian Times newspaper today, there's a story about 10 billion boots for mining industry as new local content participation regulations take effect. Now, the story goes on to say that following increases in items on the procurement list for provision of goods and services from 41 to 50 in the mining industry, investment and mineral receipts have hit nearly 10 billion US dollars, and this is as a result of the coming into force of minerals and mining local content and local participation regulations 2020 LI 2431 on December 22, 2020. And the purpose of the regulation, as you may be aware, among others, is to promote job creation using local expertise, goods and services in the mining industry, and then their retention in the country. I mean, is it some piece of good news we should be excited about, especially looking at the positives being certain revenue generation?
Well, I think local content and local participation is a well-structured program that ought to be executed to allow Ghanaians to participate in the mining sector. If that's the investment going to be made, that is good news. That is separate from what we are going through. So that is the attraction of investment to ensure that the locals participate in the oil and gas, in the mining sector. We have a well-structured local content and participatory activities in the oil and gas sector. If we are formalizing that in the mining sector, that is also very good.
Mm. And are there usually barriers, I mean, in doing this? Because in the end, the question that arises is sustainability.
Well, I think this is something that we can grow along the line. People have been participating in the mining sector for a very long time. Government has come up with a community mining. So those are the things we need to see whether we are spending money for the right people or not. But apart from that, the concept is good. We need to take hold of the mining sector. Our take of the mining sector is very, very small. We need to increase that through local content and local participation.
And if we are raking in some 10 billion US dollars, then clearly Sikado will have to say, yeah, President Nana Akufo-Addo and his followers have been saying the money is right here.
You said 10 million, 10 billion.
10 billion US dollars.
And that money is not being brought by the government of Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the investment attraction. And investment will go to where it is attractive. And we know from the records that FDI and other investment into the mining sector is always very attractive because of the returns. So we cannot say that because we are investing 10 million into the local content and its related activities in the mining sector, that money is available to be used to resolve the country's problem. No, that is a separate issue.
And so, in effect, I mean, realistically, what's the impact really? What do we stand to gain, especially for a country that is broke like Ghana and it's in debt distress? It's literally coughing its way through this problem and is looking for money in order to revive its economy. A country which Kwame Minkah predicts that it will take 30 years before we can revive the current state of our economy. I mean, when we hear things like this, what are we looking at really?
And then we need to segment the discussion. Attraction of investment into agriculture this time is equally important. Attraction of investment into other sectors are equally important. And attraction of investment in the oil and gas sector is important. Attraction of investment to the mining sector is important. What we are talking about is fiscal management.
That's right.
And we also need to find a way around it to resolve it. So those are two different issues that I do not want to put them together. I want to separate them and discuss.
Okay, very well. Let's leave it here. And I'm sure at the appropriate forum, we certainly would separate them and discuss and see how they all inure to our benefit as a country. Prof, thank you very much for your time. Professor John Gachi and our in Ghana. But on the year Ankrankrana, Omabo Abain Bosiane, Ebuaka Omusima say, Omo Shenim Sabain, Ebetri Omumfasudi Anase, Omusika Ankasankasano, Yadeka Krebi, Ebetu Omusema Abedane, Boachibidino. Was it a problem? No, Sabain Betima Sovwa, and one say, one ne Ankrankraya, Omabo Abain Bosia Atenase. No, you my dim como, and no see a problem. And you Montinas and Namunian negotiation. Mundia no. Anu die no sa dia wasi e dia no na enyansi no according to Professor John Gatti eno na akofa ye nyina ba oluma ya wo frɛ Joy FM inu osu se wutie ne nsɛm emo rem pa se wadu ne nkokura mberemu na kakra wa wo hɔ a obetimi dia bobra hede ye de no na ya kyena tena akonya so na ye yi na yibone Ebra na NDC members of parliament raise issues way catch Ghana for say ensunsanso ebebanie no na bi muti waka say politics eno moye ene senior hosia woye campaign ema MPP amanyoko in 2016 eno no TV so na jusu catch about we say etimodin sembe na moye no me makwan amama frɛ sɛ woyɛ obi a woyɛ ankorankora wo so aba aban bosia na saa deɛ wɔ yɛde wo fam anaasɛ woyɛ Ghana ni na wonim obi a wɔnam saa deɛ wɔ mu ana clip na yɛ bɔkyerɛ manɔpɛ yi mutie papa na nanum asɛm etie sɛnyɛ hɔsi ɔno so nanum asɛm woyɛ Ghana ni a wote wo Ghana wotua wotoɔ a wopɛ Ghana yie ɛnsɛm wɔ mu dwe ho sɛe yɛma makwanya momfrɛ 0208984166 and a 050-000-0257. Could you hear how many calls? Five calls. And I ain't baby. You 5 calls and a 10. 0208984166 and a 050-000-0257. Where you gonna need now with me? Na ankran ya omaba ban bosie. Isusanso ya bay. What the assembly chair? Me and Tonka. Hello, morning.
Hello, good morning.
Udina baby out free.
Abuko komlemre.
Abuko komlemre entio.
One say ana ye ka ko akufado na trimod dia ban o de ba no let all the paper so. O present pay usizi. Atima ye net kan ye nyanhi o wiata ye ba ye. Kakra be da o papa no u bon ko papa o de ete ko mu nkro so. Enti u kunu ba force. O ba so nyesa na o ka kira ye. Akufado. Oh, Mama Francis, I can't say I'm one.
Medasi Abu, I say so 0208984166. Hello, morning.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Odina, baby, I'm free.
I'm Patrick Professor Kosomo.
One guy's away a individual bondholder and Ibiana.
Yes, sir. Sir, my investment 3 times, consecutive 3 times. But need I call no one of the ABI. And just a crying, open kind of one just yet. And to your program, I'm saying, my friend, I'm a come.
Omode dear Namamu.
How many from there, my CM Ferry?
First of all, a dear investment.
A bond.
Okay.
Bond. May invested almost 11. May invested 111,000. Almost 1.1 billion. Sabi, me a Benjamin. Na me thought taxes too. I be the bank account. Some salary bar. Let me push it. No say I could say. Who just said you'll be a me a Jumao? Me a fire officer. No not trying to see this. I think it is could do old 1.1 billion. Not to be. I can come back up pension. Now we see a yeah.
It did no more catch. Cat out of name Samson say.
By force, young signing, no debate. No, maybe.
What signing?
Maybe.
Now, bad day.
Signing.
Oh, bad day.
Sir, I don't want to say signing.
But that's why. Medase. No, voice will no 2 why? 0208984166 and a 050-000-0257. Hello, morning.
Hello.
Ofa wudi na baby free.
Pacho FM Kasimoro, me kasa free Dwabo Ase.
Kasim also asamwe ya di bia diu.
Me di bia di me na mo NID. Mo accessible NID. But in station me tie pa XYZ TV.
Good.
Maybe ato forcing. E ba ho e be kasa se ensam na mo kan se e be dum lebi no e sika ho no e ni ato accessible ni e no.
Okay.
Me dey interested in sanka ni e. That time na me fa me ho adwo se me kwakoro drop media no but na me wo mem. Ye mo takwa. It's me buying now. We call it the say no because them say time no so yin. They say me the letter ba 2 weeks and sana. But me buy no. And me call on mo ka kira omo. We say 2 days now so na 2 days so e be so no. Na ye because my say we get to be 4 years ni. 2 days na be so no a weekend. I'm going to say you can end tomorrow. Me yeah so am pere. Very good ya. And yeah, in boleta na ko boleta kwa no. Misika na eso mo de ma me 100 million for treasure bill. Almost at 6 million.
Wow.
NID. Enti me de before bank wa ye de dem madafum you consume account so no ho no mo. E fa for treasure bill but my account so my personal account so you consume sale no. But the cost one Ghana han mo say no. So mo do bi ba TV station no more finance minister pen. Finance minister pen. That's for bad for customer. Ghana people to me just policy. You have to watch back na 100%. Any and ya how you woman no.
Yeah.
I'm for politics.
Yeah.
And politics.
Any and
go feel pain.
yeah.
Who do you call?
Any and
And what percent you soon worker?
Yeah.
Any Ghana Hana to better side work at politics.
Yeah.
Any
and Ejameda say Makwan of Fufronso and for 020-898-4166 and a 050-000-0257. Hello, morning. Kafra Mashro, Ubetimi Asanfre 050-000-0257 and a 020-894-166. Hello, morning.
Hello, good morning.
Mr. Udina, baby, I'm free.
Pacho, your friend Matheson, you was Nyane.
Also, you had to be a diwana.
And I'm with the Biadime. And I call my police for the commercial bank.
A dear design, you did you.
Me the Misika Kwakoto commercial bank, maybe a 4 bond nibi. Me wa hwa no mo friend say changes bia ba nti o mo the forms bia ba me na me ni o mo nsa contract na commercial bank for me nsa yero me kwa no mo chere me say me sika no interest no me nsanka
sika say na de koto ho na ye ensi ho no so na wo hwe animu say ubenya say e na bond no so a wo kan ho asem no ye de bi ya ban dia na say de
Pato, on na make one abide the ND. Na sika no so ye 500 million old currency no. No mo tell say sika no they say me pesa me saka the sika na instead of 500 million menya 320 million. Ya ka de nya bia me sabeka. Ti other say me fill this forms no. Ana say me jai na say ni ase me de ko court na me de ko
na say o say
omo police for the chain wo commercial bank so omo de me call here no police station ho na panyin tre manager me say de omo ka no ento asu obi di sika ba be to bank interest mo se mo fa na no ni sika train na so mo say ne nsanka 1 city kwa 2023 this 2024 na mo be ma no mu 5%. This answer na bank no omone aban de economy omo hwe na omunye bibi empa ho na police for no ka say me ko be fie
wow
yes interest ya mpa mame say me pay me sika 500 million so a ye be ma me 320 million
wow
say me nsanka say ni 320 million so de ya ye metia say me mpa court na metimi ni aban akotwe manson
It's too bad. Oh, bad day.
Meaning the Amaya. Now, and yeah, no quack. Sir, Jane issue say, made them 700 million koto. There's the lot of the car say, or the customers will be a Sikabemomo. 3 years, meaning, there's some car 1 city, 700 million.
Wow.
Now, Kakaka, they are called to commercial bank and so. And also, yes, I mean, just interest no 1 city class 2023. It's a friend, so.
It's weird that now survival. What's the gabi down?
Police, I'm going to call police station. Can you be fair? Manager, I say, they say, "Quite a few people on fasten the money in the Omunko Didi."
Yeah.
to among here now, almost all the South Road and a walk. There's a quiet at Pasono. Commercial Banco. All my police for the chain.
But the main thing is say a year then you chill. I mean, on what basis? So much also a day.
Almost say my Baba is stable customers no na me ye de e wo.
Enti na wo ye de.
Me ka to almost almost free police. So man free police I mean free bank dem ho. So almost me sika mami ado mo kan na enfasi afem. No mo free police na police e ba ye.
Ofa, enfasi ate, me do say. Hey, eti beyond the 50 now say nyomo anyomo nsa de ase krata ase ebi mu wo miamia hodo o. I be a senior munya identify omo. Ebi na free. Hello morning.
Hello.
Eja wudi na baby free.
Abacho me kaza from Madina.
Ne fro say, ana mpeso obobo di.
Abacho me di Joseph.
Joseph, osu ye de bia di wana.
Abacho omo di bia di mi. Ewo ayi data bank. Data bank.
Edi ade poti.
Me get to one more 8,000 and be to one more. Scan be ba na 6,000.
Sika wodi kosie se wo de pede yi.
Media ye me ba education.
Okay.
Education na media education fund.
Okay.
Ni ko ho se me ko de bidi bi ko to suru no ana mo ka che me say isi anu pese me yi me sika na o se nka percentage be bi sim. Ala me say den ti before me ko na pressure ho pa. Enti e kire no before me record so mo fast me sika na bre me. Sika na be ba na 6,000 e ba e want 2,000 afimu. In a cost,
it's too bad.
I see, I know the other day to me in the bank to me. I just say, a more now met me and with Mama.
No, but Sicano would the question was said, almost is cannot to me to be anywhere but me. Yeah, but Sicano would the question was said, well, Banna this UNT, it is a so bad and better than when you scar.
Aha. I know the some of the pianos is standing to 5 years in 2017 on a middle scanner tour. So, if you have seen a 5 years as one, Nanka, public Akrabaso, where after they make up this canna, Nanka Media is Meba school, almost is cano, I just almost TV, Mama, son, I met Mr. Zaka.
It's your quadrant way.
I think it's a country out of 8,000.
It's your quadrant way. I could school fees once I'm at to say.
I call a problem. I call your problem this year, brother. It's in I don't know, minimum Yakos or Memo.
But that's why, Edda. But I say also wait to our friend 020-898-4166 and 050-000-0257. Hello, morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm Theo.
Theo, how are you doing this morning?
Fine.
Why are you calling from?
When I heard this thing, I told my people, my church members, that they should withdraw their money. But they refused. They were thinking it was politics. What I want to suggest is this. If the World Bank wants to help Ghanaians, they also have foreign reserves who have stolen from the government and have deposited it outside. They should track it and bring it back to the country or use it to defray some of our debt so that we can manage ourselves from there.
That is if they have evidence to that effect.
Yes, if we have evidence, yes, they should do that so that we can elect the relief, and then the government will see that we need us to do those things that he's doing now. That's my suggestion.
So thank you very much for calling. 020-898-4166 and 050-000-0257. One month to you ask them and was say already the other say I'm a person of Wagana and yet debt restructuring program bia. I'm penny for no do music go see I'm how do I would baby no. One track it. No more what did you say getting in an farmer boy. I don't know what no one say. Over do many did a man for Esika. You call the next caller. So, hello, morning.
Good morning, Papa.
Mamma, we did not be out free.
Me pacho, make a soft boise.
What's it?
Me pacho,
now you're frosty.
Me pacho, you're priming a mawa bobaka.
Nyayaka, you're the beard you are now.
Me pacho, Sikai be a moka was and Meso Moji be me.
Jim.
Me pacho, me sika no kwato bank, commercial bank. Me pacho 700. 2 years near me so me back to school. And enrich me ko say me ko jiskano na me bana ko school. Amod real mo si special bail. Enye juma interest e da so po mo de mo fa mama mo fa me sika mama. Sika no treasure bail e se me sanka.
Omo so nsanka.
Me sanka o.
Omo ncheche mu ne sei.
ma ka scan o se yansanka aban se scan de ekwo ne de obi anya yansanka scan.
No, but bank no much edi ade na bank ne ka kire o.
Bank ne say aban say yansanka scan. Ana me so me ko ya me ya treasure bill. Enso me ko ya mo so ma ya ne bon. Ana me say me ba ya me oba be si ana me ka ne nyina kire mo say me ya treasure bill. Enso me ya ne 3 months 2 years new.
Tobo mama ti wase tobo ase ba me pente wo de tobo. Eti wo ko say wo ya treasury bill. Ena wo say wo de musika na wo de ya treasury bill ama wo ma no. Wo de abo aban bosia. Etu be dey. Wotie. Wo de etu be dey, se be dey.
Ya ko jina wa ka nye adwuma. Omo se ye wo bibie di a kire ye ni ankoye de be ye aban ne de wodi mra na ba ho.
Me da say mumpe Martin Pebu mame. A lawyer for no mumfre from Martin Pebu. I would go break the bra. Mumpe Martin Pebu my. Hey, eti obi twitwa nyi kana foi. Mami si wo ye treasury bill. Na ya tamsi kai say ye de bo aban say yetimi yes ah. No me nim sa no mai mu cheche mu. Mu cheche mi mu. Lawyer Martin Pebu ne mo amaka a lawyer for aben for no. Mu cheche mu. No bi so koya ne mfa sudie ne yesi emfa maw. Obi so koya sika na ode kwato wo no so ye hwan so. Ei ye nyina free hin ade ya yesi sika ni ho. Etu wumpo ye de krata bia maw fansa hyase chenchira aban hyehye nie eno an ye bedi so. Ede na tre. Oman a ye constitution ne say e was ye bo ankra nipa no temamuni no ne ho ban o wakwanya ahodo. Omo human rights ahodo. Is this not a violation of their rights? Medeme ho di misika. Hey. Yeba. Heaven knows where.
The serene environment fits into the goal of the school, which is simply to provide excellent educational foundation for your ward's development before they commence primary education. At first glance, clearly you will see why the school is called Hebron Hills International School, as the building stands tall overlooking town. With a Montessori style, we have experienced and dedicated staff and trained teachers. Our small sizes classrooms are meant to enhance teacher-focused approach where children